Welcome, mothers and others. I hope you guys are all doing great. It is Wednesday. It is February the 7th, and we have another fabulous night for you with some really great Democratic candidates. And a lot of these candidates I'm really excited to introduce you to. Dr. Lalani, welcome tonight to Mothers Against Greg Abbott and Mothers for Democracy. And can you tell us a little bit about who you are, why you're running for office, why you ran for office, maybe anything that you felt like you achieved this last legislative session. So take it away.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Good evening to all of you. I'm Dr. Suleman Lalani. I'm the state representative for House District 76, which is Fort Bend, Sugar Land, Richmond, Meadows, and Stafford. Well, this is my first session, and when people give vote, they do not give any power or authority. What they give you is their trust. And with that clear mind and servant heart, I took oath on January 10th. And since then, I am on the roll. I made promises and I delivered. I made sure I give voices to the people who are otherwise weak, give platform to the organizations so they can raise their awareness about doing good work, like I did Alzheimer's, autism, and the rest likes. And I also am giving exposure to the community who are otherwise unengaged. But when I'm passing the laws, I was very cognizant that we pass for all Texans. So I worked on 155 pieces of legislation in my first term. 36 of them is passed into law. I'm very proud to tell you that mental health is one of my passion, and I passed a bill and I did an amendment on it that requires now all the Texas colleges and universities, upon orientation of new student tour, they have to take them to mental health office. We all know that in this age group, how much stress, anxiety, depression, even suicide happens. And this is irrespective of socioeconomic class, faith, color, creed, or origin. This is happening. And a lot of our kids do not know where to get help. And some of them who actually are in the need will not go because of the fear of being pointed out by their peers. So this bill mandates that everybody goes. I'm very passionate about that one. I also worked with my other colleagues that we passed another bill for postpartum care in Texas. Medicaid coverage for postpartum care was only 3 months. Now it is 12 months. So I'm proud that this is a step forward. Healthcare access and healthcare affordability is a big thing to me. I also filed for Medicaid expansion named as Texas Way, which did not go anywhere. Medicaid has been becoming a curse word in our legislations. I was joking that even I do not mind, I will name it Abbott Way if they would let me pass. But we tried to pass a couple of bills. I'm also passionate about technology. I did a bill in cybersecurity. I did also pass bill in catfishing, online impersonation. So various other bills that I have passed, and I would look forward to continue to do work on it, more work in public education. It is so sad that with $34 billion surplus, we could have done so much good things for our Texans, and we failed to do so. So I am going to join with my colleagues again and try to continue with the good work that we have started in healthcare, in education, in business, and technology.
Wonderful, wonderful. All of it. Absolutely. So what are the top 3 issues for your district?
Well, for my district and for me, first and foremost, again, keeps coming up is healthcare access. That is happening. We have so many people that we know that are rationing their medications. How many couples who are there 30-day supply of medication pushing to 40-day supply, so they are skipping medicine. Some of the people who are doing 2 jobs but are not unable to afford a good health care. And medical catastrophe is one of the biggest reasons for bankruptcy in America. So we need to make sure that affordability and access we need to improve. So I'm going to keep working on our access to care, which is most important to me. Also to focus on primary care, preventive care, because we are penny wise, pound foolish in healthcare. And that's what I'm trying to educate my colleagues. Look, we are not giving $200 to somebody to get medication. Some of them end up in ICU, and we spend $200,000 on them in ICU. And some of them, God forbid, will become disabled and go to nursing home. Now, somebody who was a productive citizen of society becomes dependent for life. And who's going to pay for it? Ultimately, state is paying for it. So I'm trying to educate them that let's work on it. Let's be more proactive in healthcare. Public education is very important to me. With all that money sitting, It is a shame that we did not do increase funding for our school education. We did not serve our teachers. It is no secret if I ask anybody like, hey, who is your role model? Who changed your life? Nobody, will tell a sports player or a Hollywood a person or whatnot, but somebody always will tell me a teacher. And we have to stop paying lip service and put our money where our mouth is. And we need to make sure we take care of the teachers so they can provide quality education and focus on improving the leadership of tomorrow. Because right now we are creating paper degrees, but not the leaders of tomorrow. Third thing, which I'm very passionate about, is technology. AI is not coming, is already here. We need to be working on it. I passed one bill in last session where we asked Governor Abbott to create a committee to look into what AI Texas has and what the future needs are. And I amended that bill, that Texas Workforce Commission, to create opportunities and learning and job opportunities that we would require. So we do not have that joblessness happening once we get into. I also pass bills in online impersonation and other things that I will keep working on, our businesses that we will work on, and to have a fair representation and our democracy at the threat. So we're going to work on all of those issues if I get an opportunity and going forward again next session.
So yesterday, with some of the folks that come on for the candidate webinars, and if they are currently in elected office, I've asked them a couple extra questions. And so let me ask you a couple extra questions. How do you feel that Greg Abbott getting a $6 million donation from a Pennsylvania billionaire? How do you feel about that enormous donation and how it is going to influence vouchers and politicians, especially during this next legislative session?
It is unfortunate to state that is happening, and that's where the politician cannot be unbiased when they come with favors. The only responsibility of a representative is to represent their constituents, and you have to be fair to all. You need to represent that. So we have to fight that fight, and we need to make sure that we are representing each and everyone, not doing favors to few.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for my next question is, we're hearing a lot about the border and the border crisis and what Greg Abbott is doing, but you're in the Asian community and the Middle Eastern community. You're really a lot more involved with those communities, especially because you represent a lot of those folks there in the Houston area. How is the border crisis affecting some members in different communities other than the Latino communities? Because I have some conversations with some friends who are really involved, of course, with Asian communities, and they say, we always talk about it and they always focus it on Mexico and Latin American countries, but it actually affects our community as well. So, I'm just wondering how is like everything that's going on right now on the Texas border and like amnesty and just some bigger issues that go along with immigration, how is that impacting communities where you live?
Well, the communities are living in fear and anxiety now even though it's a border bill, it's a Texas-wide bill. And there are two things that have passed into that bill. One is if there is an undocumented person found sitting next to you, you will be charged as human smuggling and you can have 10 years behind the bar. Now you tell me, if somebody leaving the church and say, hey, can you drop my dad home while going home? Would you ask, hey, dad, do you have a passport in your pocket? If a children needs to have to get a ride from school to home, would you ask, hey, kid, do you have a passport in your pocket? And so this is creating all this nonsense that's extra stuff that is happening. Again, the second law that has passed is upon suspicion, the law enforcement can pick a person up. And what does suspicion mean? If I don't look like you, is that suspicion? And then that creates a lot of issues, right? So I think in fact, a few weeks ago, there was a school trip in our area, which was taking schools to the Big Bend. And since it's by the border, the school said everybody has to bring their passports and we will do all of that part. And there were 5 families who are legal and have documents, but they were so fearful that our kids are so young, small. I don't know what he will say and what he will answer. They chose not to send their kids in the trip. These kind of things are happening. We are creating anxiety and fear into the community. I was begging to my colleagues that these kind of bills are not going to help anybody, but it's going to hurt a lot of people. Please, for the God's sake, let's not do this. We are doing things which are creating noise, but they are not doing any creative solutions. We are doing border walls for how many long time? We have put their barbed wires and all that. Is that helping? I don't think so. So keep on doing things which is not helping and putting money to the things which is not helping. Why don't we put our heads together and create a good immigration policy, and let's bring people in? Because, at the end of the day, America is the land of immigrants, and we all are prospering and we all chose to come here because this was the leading country in the world. Now, given the choice now, would we make the same choice? I don't know. So we need to make sure that we continue to create good policies, create fair communities, safer communities, and so they can be flourishing more rather than living in the stress and anxiety. Last time there was SB 147 created so much anxiety in our Asian colleagues, right? Unable to buy property. I mean, that is such a, what I call unintelligent nonsense things to do. There are so many good things. There are so many important things. There are so many urgent issues that we need to work on. We were distracting by doing these kind of things. And that hurts me, that we need to stay focused and do what are the urgent issues to us with $36 billion surplus. Let's focus on healthcare. Let's focus on education. Let's give a good quality of life to all our Texans, because if every Texan will prosper, you know what? The state prosper. The more businesses comes, the more house comes, the more taxpayer base is expanded. We all will prosper. We rise by lifting others.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen to that. So tell me, for our last thing, Dr. Lalani, where can we find you and how best can we support you right now while you're running for office?
Well, I'm in the primary again, so I need all your support. You can help me. Go to our website, drlalanifortexas.com, which is DRLALANIFORTEXAS.com, drlalanifortexas.com. We are also on Twitter, Facebook's, all Instagram, and all the site. Volunteer, make noise, engage. Anybody in Sugar Land, Richmond, Meadows, Stafford area, tell them go out to vote and bring 10 more people to vote, because your life depends on it.
Absolutely. Amen to that. So thank you so much, Dr. Lalani. Thank you for spending this evening with us, and I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail.
Well, thank you much. Thank you so much.